Oh, magic conch, what is it that we must do to fulfill the legacy of old ahead of us? Was that your attempt to burp? Was that your attempt to burp? Was that Sammy attempting to burp?
No.
No.
Well, whoever
it was moi.
Okay, I was about to say hype.
What?
I know your burps. That was upset. Like I know a hype burp when I oh jeez.
Well, I mean, do you want me to show him how it's properly done?
Oh.
If you may.
All right, fine.
Thank you. With that, we can start this part proper. Yeah. By the way, yeah, just don't go near the. I thought I could hit that thing. It will just backhand you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But yes, I heard. Yeah. Anywho's, and welcome everybody to the Kelp Forest, which, again, giving props to Heavy Rock and to Purple Sand. You said
Purple Lamp.
Purple Lamp.
Purple Lamp, not Purple. Sorry. Giving props to Heavy Rock at the time when they made this, and Purple
Heavy
Lamp's,
Iron.
Heavy Iron. Why do I keep saying Heavy Rock?
Well, rocks are heavy.
Oh, you know, because I combined it with Black Rock Studios. With Heavy Iron, just say the thought.
What does Black Rock Studios make again?
I'll look it up later. I want to say, like, some of the... Like, I want to say things like... something like that, Jesus. Okay, say the thing, Logan, and just get on with your life. Okay, I will give them props that I very much enjoy. Hey, I very much enjoy the variety in which they took elements from the show to create whole levels around, because I don't see many things ever bring up the Kelp Forest again, but that was a pretty strong biome to use for a level design.
Yeah, though that being said, it didn't exactly fare all that well originally, because this level was particularly infamous for being very pitch dark.
Yeah?
And confusing.
Yeah, the shading was very dark. So now here, I think the lighting is a lot nicer to work with. And the colors, once again, I very much enjoy how vibrant they are. And this song, and again, now that we're in the final act, I love... Yeah! Nice. And I very much enjoy the rich music, how the songs are sounding now that we're in the final acts here.
Class isn't out here today, is it?
Goodness, no, why would it?
Why do you say that? Do you think we'd have class out here to hide from you?
Oh, Mrs. Puff. Of course you would.
Gathering twigs for the winter.
I mean, she went to prison several times, so...
Oh, can I help? I have a merit badge.
Yeah. What's for dinner tonight, Puff Mama?
Something else.
Joey.
The robot showed up and scared all the students.
Anyway, Black Rock Studios made such things as Pure and Split Second, the explosive game that I showed us off, the explosive driving game.
Yeah.
I'm the sponge for the job.
Thanks, SpongeBob. I'll make sure to give you a nice reward.
Is it going to be
when
my
you
driver's
found
license?
Nice try.
Over my dead body, SpongeBob.
That's not a no.
Wow.
I would love that just as
Challenge
like a quick
accepted.
little nod. I would love that just as a quick little nod to the adults of like what SpongeBob is willing to like accept as optimism.
Y'all seen that one episode where apparently Mrs. Puff actually ate the poor fucker?
Yeah!
Oh yeah, like
right at the very end.
right, because like she was so famished that like she just wanted to eat anything, and I think the bit from that still sticks in my mind the most is when after she eats them, all the reactions of like, not that.
Careful now.
Fresh like a spring
Oh wait, was that actually in the show?
No.
No, I think
Oh.
he's trying to get himself the... You gonna be okay there,
I-
Steve?
You have to be
Nah,
careful.
I'm fine. I'm sorry about that. It was
should be known
leading up to Squidward just going, eh.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, they
Yeah,
all
I
just
just
up it.
recorded
They
this-
all dogpiled Mrs. Puff, and then Squidward, you know, at least tried.
Just casually laid on top of her.
Sorry, yeah, okay. Not gonna go into specifics if he doesn't want it to. If he does not want it to go into specifics. But Hype's recording this. Been doing this entire session actually under the weather.
Well, by entire session, we mean like starting from part 8 up to this part.
And he's hanging in there. He's hanging in there.
I mean, like,
I
honestly,
just want-
I'm still, like, that coughing fit notwithstanding, I like to think I'm doing fine. Like, I definitely feel better than I did when we were doing, like the latter chunk of Donkey Kong Country Returns, as well as A Way Out.
That is true.
Yeah, because like in those parts, my voice was like bent beyond repair by comparison.
I do remember that, and I remember I also remember that a bit when I had what you have was that like I've had colds worse than that. Like, it
Yeah,
didn't,
exactly.
Like,
it's like
really affect me as much as I thought it would.
not to mention like I don't know if this is like a particularly bragging thing, but like I've been able to like I feel like I've been recovering from it like a lot better than I have been. Like last night was like the worst it's gotten. Like nowadays, like aside from like the occasional cough and maybe like a sniffle here and there, I honestly feel fine.
Yeah, no,
That's
like
good.
it's kind of a blessing that we're at a point in time where COVID is not nearly as bad as it did on when it started getting bad.
Well, I mean, the variants depend.
And then the siren. And then the sirens play. I'm like, yay! James said the magic word.
Yeah,
And
said the
that's-
magic word.
Said the magic word, and that's the
Anyways.
password.
So sorry. So yeah. In any
Oh,
case, go. Yeah. So again, in the Kelp Forest, the main fetch quest is to find all the campers, and find is a very loose term. You're basically just saying, hey, hey Tim, hey SpongeBob, hey Dennis, hey SpongeBob, and that's it. You found them. You haven't. Doesn't matter if you actually save them. Just can you find them? That's all that matters. Doesn't matter on if you're actually helping and finding them a way out of it. Just all right. Well, there you are.
Watch as you end up finding Fred.
Or what was it? Was it Kevin? It was like, but we were in kindergarten together.
That was Dennis.
Dennis. Okay, that was Dennis.
Oh yeah.
Kevin,
What was the-
Kevin,
what was the-
Kevin was the leader of the Jelly Spotters. Or
Right,
was
he's a
it?
sea
What was the-
cucumber.
What was the name of the bully?
That
the
was Flats.
There's nothing
Flats,
like
the
a smell
flounder,
of
right.
bubbles in the morning.
And then
The
there's
one that
Fred,
wanted to
who
kick
constantly
SpongeBob
keeps on hurting his leg.
Yeah. Oh god. Oh no. I'll get
To
over
the
it.
point where they made an entire episode dedicated to it.
That's right. That was a really weird.
My
like,
leg.
I will admit that was probably for me. I don't want to say it ruined the joke, but that was probably for me the bit where it was like, that's how you take what was usually like a quick little cute running gag and like be like, yeah, everyone keeps quoting it, so that must be like the main appeal of the show, right? Like,
Well, it's funny because like I remember for like the longest time they stopped using the gag. Like it wasn't until like the more recent seasons where they kind of brought it back almost a little too frequently.
again, I just see it as like they're kind of trying to chase a trend that I don't think they needed to the whole time.
Well, I mean, I guess if it means anything, that is considered one of the better episodes in recent memory.
True. Sammy, Doug, do you guys have any thoughts or feelings on the on the more modern SpongeBob seasons compared to like what you grew up with?
I didn't watch the modern ones, so I was just like, no.
See,
That's fair.
I've watched some of it. I watched the SpongeBob birthday one, and I thought that one was okay. It was a nice little thing that they did.
The birthday one was the one where they actually had like the voice actors play like live action versions of their characters, right?
Yeah,
Okay, just making sure.
I forgot about that, to be perfectly honest.
but the rest of them
I
are
remember the
really,
spec-
really like miss for me at points. I'm like, oh, I don't really care for them.
And I can't tell, and we were talking about this a little bit, I can't tell if it's because there's another guy. Oh, can you save me? Can you take me to freedom? Ah, it's not in the contract.
I was only told to find you.
That's not a contract, buddy. Go along.
Oh no. But yeah, no, it was just like, because we were talking about that, Sammy, like, I can't tell if that's because of like they have lamer like meh writers, or if I'm just like officially like aging out of this like new like sense of humor that all the TV writers think kids have
So-
today.
I would say it
What-
might be a case. Sorry.
So what I think happened, and this was like a little bit like after Steven Hillenburg left for a little bit because he was kind of done. He wanted the movie to be the final thing and for it to not
Right.
continue.
Right.
But then Nickelodeon's like, no, we gotta milk our cash cow still. So left for a
There's
little
still
bit.
milk left in these udders.
yeah, so he left for a little bit.
I will get the last milk out of these bottles.
I
I
don't
like the
ever want
final.
to hear you say that with that tone of voice again. Oh my god.
and then I don't know, maybe they did like get like either the writers were just tired by that point or they're just like, oh fuck it, whatever, I don't care. It's or maybe it's a lot of other things. I don't know particularly.
Like well, it's really funny, like, in terms of, like, Hillenburg's involvement, because, like, I know he was involved in at least the first 2 movies. I think, like, he passed away before they were able to finish the 3rd film.
He was part of the 3rd film, though. He did,
okay.
Yeah.
And I know that, like, there was a time where he did return for the series proper before he died.
Yeah, he did.
And that was considered a pretty interesting, like, shift as far as, like, episode quality was concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, the way I would isolate it is that, like, the thing that I would say about, like, the newer SpongeBob seasons is that, like, I think they did get a bit better about, like, the characterization, you know, compared to, like, the flanderization that the previous seasons had. They got better about everyone acting in character. The jokes just weren't as clever and interesting.
Yeah.
And also, like, and another thing that I know is a little bit more divisive, I feel like the animation, like, they went a little too, they focused a little too much on, like, extremes, whereas, like, if you go back to, like, previous SpongeBob seasons, whenever they would have, like, extremes in, like, facial expressions and whatnot, they were usually, like, very selective of it. Like, they would only use it to, like, emphasize certain moments. Whereas in the newer seasons...
to you.
Yeah, whereas in the newer seasons, it's pretty much become, like, a regular thing.
Yeah. So I've decided, I'm going to look this up. I want to figure out where... So by the way, so I basically did a whole lap that I realized I probably should have been doing as Patrick, because the whole way we're going to get out of this particular part of the forest is we need to find 3 stone tikis and bring them here.
I know there's an exploit that you can use where you can use one of the stone tikis to just platform up to where that gold spatula is.
Yeah, but I want to say they may have lowered it a bit, but basically, I'm looking up. I'm curious. So I decided to look up all the writers for the Shanghai episode, that being Derek Dryman, C.H. Greenblatt, and Meriwether Williams. And I want to see, like, where are they now?
Wait, Greenblatt, he's the guy that made Chowder, isn't he?
Oh, is that him?
Yeah, he made Chowder and he made Jellystone.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, that would explain why I like Jellystone.
Mm-hmm. Now let me see. Like, there were a handful of, like, interesting, like, cartoon veterans on board with that. Like, I know for a while, Walt Durden was one of the writers. For people that don't know, he was also one of the writers and the voice of Rumpelstiltskin in Shrek 4.
Huh. I did not know that. I didn't know that he was the voice of Rumpelstiltskin.
Mm-hmm. Like, it started off, he was originally a temp voice until they could find, like, a celebrity to fill in for him, but everyone was just so enamored with, like, the sleazy voice that Walt gave him that they just decided, you know what, why don't we just keep this?
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd say it worked out in the end.
Well, I looked it up, and Meriwether Williams, she also worked on a number of shows, including My Little Pony, Camp Lazlo, Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi. She was apparently a writer for Adventure Time at one point. And she was actually in some of the episodes. Not in, but she was one of the writers for the modern SpongeBob episodes.
Right.
Like, as of 2021.
Like, I do know, like, a handful, and I should stress that, a handful of the writers still stuck on board. Like her, I know Doug Lawrence is still helping writing episodes, which, you know, he's voicing Plankton, so he might as well be on board with writing.
Yeah.
Right. Derek Dryman, it looks like he wrote for Cat Dog. He also stuck around for some of the SpongeBob. He actually stuck around for a lot of the SpongeBob short. He's like one of, like, the main, like, he's one of the last stragglers who's, like, been hanging in there since Hillenburg's, you know, departure. It looks like he also worked on some of the Hotel Transylvania movies.
Oh, really?
That seems about right.
Looks like.
Also, sorry that I went away for a little bit. I was getting a birthday cake because it's my dad's birthday today.
What
kind of cake is it?
Cheesecake.
Ah.
Alright.
Oh, okay.
Is it supposed to do that?
Actually,
I don't think that was supposed to happen, but I'm gonna 100% take advantage of it.
actually, Logan, it's funny. I was talking about this last night technically. My dad's name is Michael, so obviously the rats thing applies to him originally.
Oh, no. Michael, did
your
you
birthday
play
today.
that audio?
Cheesecake
Get
and
ice
ice
cream
cream
is
is on
on
its
its
way.
and Michael, such a good boy
Such
this
a
year.
good boy this
Boy
year.
this year.
Open up your gifts, then we all cheer.
So did you play him that audio for his grand birthday surprise?
No, I have a feeling he'd be like, I'm disowning you.
What? For being sung to by rats? What?
I was about to say, if not disowning, then I figured at the very least he just would have been like, Sammy dear, what is this?
That's what I thought was that the worst he would express was, what? Not only am I fully aware of this, but the context of it disgusts me so that I want nothing more to do with you upon this day of my birth.
Heidi, our daughter's into some weird stuff.
God.
I know.
What?
What? How did she know it?
I knew we should have sent her to boarding school.
What?
What got me laughing, if you're curious, is that it's not so much when Sam said that. It was more the effect of Logan's reaction. It's like, what? that's what got me.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I mean, I'm not wrong. Technically, he'd be like, "What the hell is this?"
I getcha.
It's like me dressing up as Bat.
I'm just.
It's like me dressing up as Batman for my dad's birthday.
Oh.
Just trust me. It's worth finding these crystals.
Okay.
Go search myself.
Particle Boy, are you sure those crystals are meant to give you superpowers, or maybe you're just imagining it in all the worst ways possible?
Yes.
Yeah.
SpongeBob, I know. A man knows what he wants.
Like,
Anywho.
like my dad's turning like 59, and he doesn't know a lot about like the cultural internet stuff. Like, he was confused about bronies when that was a thing.
That was ages ago. The only thing I can recall about bronies nowadays, despite the fact that I was one of them for a little while, only because of the fandom, and in particular the music and art department was really nice. But the only thing I remember about it nowadays was the famous Brony Doug Walker story.
What?
Oh.
So,
Oh God.
So the story went. It sounded like Sammy and Doug were already cringing at it, but too late. I'm saying it. The story went, and he made a whole little video about it. I'm sure if you look it up, it's still on his channel. But basically, he was supposed to go to a convention in New York, and I guess Doug Walker is Canadian. I think
Doug Walker's Canadian? Maybe? I don't think he is.
Or he was going to a convention in Canada. Either way, the point was, the purpose of this story, the crux of it was that he was going across the North American-Canadian border, and they were wondering why he had all of this equipment with him, because they didn't know if he needed like a license or if there was something to do. Like, basically, they were almost going to withhold and like detain him, or at the very least have him miss his flight because of all this questioning and stuff. So the idea was they asked, it was some weird like contrived like scenario in hindsight where they were just like, can you prove to us that you're a journalist for web-based like social interactions, things like that? Like, can you prove it to us? Like, pop quiz. What's something going on that's topical? And how do I know you're really a internet personality? Like, so it was so weird in hindsight. Now that I'm actually saying this out loud, but again, supposedly according to the anecdote he gave in the video, was that oh gosh, where the hell is that thing? Something the storms. There it is. Was that he then started just like ranting in the same way that Charles Martinet got his job as Mario, just by ranting about pizza and spaghetti for like 30 minutes until they ran out of tape. Doug Walker started ranting about bronies for like 5 minutes straight until the guy was like, oh my gosh, okay, there's no way you could have been, okay dude, okay, there's no way you could have made all that up, alright, I trust you, and sent him on his way to continue with the convention and stuff. Man, it was very weird. But that was the story, how he said that bronies ended up saving his entire, like, trip and not having to be detained.
And that's why he likes the show, I think.
I don't think he cares about it. I think he makes references occasionally, but I don't think he cares about it.
I remember famously Waxinator despised bronies.
Oh yeah, like that was the whole crux of the Lord of the Rings trilogy he did.
Well, because what happened was it all started with another like by then canceled Jungle Book video, the one with the
right.
You will be there was a joke made, the joke of that YouTube poop being that it wasn't Ka singing to Mowgli that was hypnotizing him, it was that Ka started playing an episode of My Little Pony for him, right. And that's what led to his eyes getting all hypnotized and crap. But and when that was played, the brony fandom just came after him, like straight up, like, how dare you you insinuate that this is just indoctrinating or him just completely taking the joke way too sensitive. I'm sorry. A lot of the bronies at the time were very much of the like snowflake nature.
Yeah. I can think of a lot of shows that are like that.
Hence why it got to such a point where Waxinator then later was like, yeah, I'm never going to like, or at the very least, like, it was definitely a strong point. Like, yeah, A, I'm never going to do a YouTube poop of this show, and B, I'm going to definitely keep references to it to a minimum. Hence why in that Hobbit one, when at one point Bilbo goes, no, the ponies, there's like a positive,
no.
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 Which I forget what that movie's from. The only thing I remember is that
Yeah, gotta be out.
that movie was.
No, the other side. There you go.
What's like?
No.
Well, no, because like
Patrick.
I need to get the rock. Well, okay, here's the problem. I need to get the rock over there. But how do I get the rock over here? That's where I'm like, wait a minute. How does this? Do I have to just like?
Yeah, I think
that's
you're.
a rock.
There it is.
Oh, yes.
Now I need to carry this watermelon up here.
This don't look tedious at all.
Don't worry, this is the last like true area like that involves platforming. After this, it's just a slide, and then the kelp forest is done. But but anyway, that scene, because that now that's in my head. I remember I remember seeing a trailer for it, but I never saw the movie. But it was this thing where they're all on a road trip. Someone goes, knock knock, and that's when it's the no. Pause. Who's there? Just, like,
Ooh, let's see what this is.
I like how that whole tangent came from my father finding out about bronies for the first time. I like how that.
Yes, it is. Welcome to the channel.
I gained the power to trim
Whoa.
my nose hairs at super speed.
I mean,
Incredible.
I can tell a lot of funny stories about my dad. Honestly,
Well then,
he's a very funny
I
man.
need to return to the
I'm not against it if
lair
he's okay with being
and
talked
get back to
about in
work.
front of
But
dozens
here, take this
of 7
golden
people on this channel.
As long as people don't know his actual
And
like
go
real like
away.
name and try to look him up,
Barnacle
I
boy.
don't
I'm
think he
always happy
cares.
to lend my
Yeah.
services to
No,
my
that's
favorite
fine, that's fine.
superhero. If you ever run into trouble again, let me know.
There,
Yeah, sure, kid.
there was like okay,
Thanks.
so he pronounces Mario like Mario
goodbye.
basically, and I always asked him like why
that's
he
a
pronounced
classic.
it. Like I asked him one time like, wait, why do you pronounce it that way? And I'm like, I don't know, it's just the way I pronounce it. I know it's Mario, but I just pronounce it that way.
He actually
Mario
understands that
scum.
it's Mario, but he just does it despite. That I like.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, normally it
Yeah,
would just
and
be.
then like he showed his like age really by like he was like, oh, so do you want like that what's it called, that Mario's Haunted House game or something like that? And he means Luigi's Mansion, and I'm like,
Oh, Green Mario.
Green Mario.
he knows
Oh, that's Luigi, right? That's Luigi Mansion, yeah?
Yeah, I was about to say, what is that Mario's brother, Luigi?
he knows
Luigi.
he knows Luigi and like the rest of them. He actually knows them. He just
Right.
pronounces Mario deliberately, like out of spite.
That's I love that. I love that it's not that he's mistaken. He's just like, yeah, I'm just saying it this way. Does it get to... I love it.
My dad is an
Alrighty,
extremely
well.
funny man.
All according to Kekwaku.
Okay, wow, jeez. Alrighty. Well, in the next part, we're going to wrap up the Kelp Forest and get on to the final level of the game. We're already almost at the end of our journey here.
Oh my god, I think I'm turning Japanese.
I really think so.
I really think so. Dun, 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 dun.
Sushi.